5 years of love, a perfect ring, a rehearsal dinner, set for forever. Then she stood up, clinked her glass, and said she was marrying my brother. Laughter, applause. From my own family. Lucas. My mother said, "You were never meant for someone like her. Was I just a placeholder? Did they plan this all along? What kind of woman leaves her fiancé for his brother and does it at the wedding rehearsal?" But here's what they didn't know. I wasn't just some heartbroken loser. I had a plan. And when I made my move, I chose her boss. Hi, my name is Lucas, and I used to believe in forever. I wasn't born with much. I grew up in a small town where ambition was considered arrogance, and dreaming too big was just another way to get laughed at. My older brother Ethan was the golden boy. Varsity football star, straight A student, the kind of guy teachers and neighbors said things like, "Why can't you be more like him?" to everyone else. And me, I was the quiet one. The one who read books during lunch and had a part-time job fixing computers out of my garage. While Ethan brought home trophies, I brought home wires and dust. But I never minded. Because I had Emily. We met in college. She was the kind of beautiful that didn't need makeup. Confident, smart someone who saw things in me that no one else did. While other girls rolled their eyes at my ideas for apps or side hustles, Emily leaned in, asked questions, encouraged me. She believed in me. Or, at least that's what I thought. We dated for 5 years. 5 years of quiet coffees, road trips, nights when we stayed up dreaming about the life we'd build. She'd work in PR. I'd launch my own tech startup. We'd get married, maybe move to Seattle. It felt like our story had already been written in the stars. What I didn't see was the ink smudging beneath the surface. My family never really liked Emily. Not because she wasn't good enough. No, they thought she was too good. My mom once said to me, "She's a girl who wants yachts and champagne. You give her bookstores and ramen." I thought she was wrong. I needed her to be wrong. Ethan, of course, charmed Emily from day one. He always knew the right thing to say. Always looked like he stepped out of a catalog. A financial advisor with a six-figure salary. His apartment looked like a high-end magazine spread. They'd joke sometimes, "If you ever dump Lucas, I'll be waiting." And I'd laugh, pretending not to notice how long they held eye contact, or how Emily's smile lingered when he left the room. But I trusted her. I trusted them. By the time I proposed, I'd saved for months. Every freelance job, every consulting gig, every late-night coding, all for a ring that sparkled like the future I imagined with her. She cried when I asked. Said yes in the middle of a park surrounded by falling cherry blossoms. It was perfect, or so I thought. In the months leading up to the wedding, she got distant, blamed work, said planning was stressful. I figured it was cold feet, natural, right? And besides, I had other things on my plate. Secret things. See what no one knew, not Emily, not my family, was that I'd been quietly working with a tech investor I met online. A woman named Miranda Carter, CEO of a Fortune 500 company known in the industry as the Silicon Queen. I'd pitched her an idea for a startup, a revolutionary AI-powered productivity platform. She loved it. We'd been developing in stealth mode for almost a year. And guess who worked for Miranda Emily? She was one of Miranda's assistants, which meant I had to keep everything airtight confidential. Every time Emily vented about how strict her boss was, I had to bite my tongue. Every time she complained about late nights and high expectations, I'd nod sympathetically, knowing full well who was behind that pressure. But I told myself it would be worth it. Once the wedding was over, once we launched, I'd tell her everything. We'd celebrate. She'd be proud. That was the plan. Until the rehearsal dinner. A warm May evening. The restaurant had string lights glowing like stars overhead. Our families were seated, drinks in hand. Toasts had begun. I was nervous, practicing my short speech in my head, thinking about the moment I'd look at her and say, "I can't wait to start forever." Then came the sound of her glass clinking. She stood, smiled, and said something that shattered me. "I can't marry you, Lucas, because I've fallen in love with Ethan." Silence. Not the stunned kind, the kind I expected, the kind that belongs to car crashes and heartbreaks. No. This silence was heavy, controlled, as if everyone had been holding their breath, waiting for her to say it. Then applause. From my family. My mother actually clapped. I just sat there, frozen, watching her wrap her fingers around Ethan's hand like it was the most natural thing in the world. My brother standing tall in his tailored navy suit, smirking like he had just closed the biggest deal of his life. "Emily," my father said, lifting his glass, "it takes courage to follow your heart." And that was it. A round of toasts followed. To them, to the new couple. My engagement dinner had turned into their celebration, like some twisted theater production where I'd been recast without notice. I looked around the room, desperate for a reaction, for someone, anyone, to ask what the hell is going on. But no one met my eyes. Even my little sister, who used to sneak into my room crying when Ethan bullied her, growing up, now raised her glass like this was just another Tuesday. My mother leaned over and whispered, "You should be proud. A girl like that was never really yours to keep." I wanted to scream, to throw something, to ask them if I was some kind of joke, the warm-up act before the main event. But I didn't. I stood up and I left. No one followed, not even Emily. I drove for hours that night. No music, no destination, just the sound of tires on asphalt and the roaring void in my chest. How long had this been going on? Weeks, months. Had she ever loved me, or was I just convenient? Then the worst thought hit me. Was everyone in on it? Was my whole engagement a lie, a cover? Did Ethan charm her? Or did she always want the better man, the richer, shinier version? It would have been easier to blame just the two of them. But the way my parents smiled that night, like they had won, made it clear this betrayal was bigger than just love. It was legacy. Ethan was the future of our family. He had money connections, prestige. He was the kind of man they wanted to align with. And I was just the soft one, the potential that never quite delivered. I became a ghost in my own story. For 3 days, I didn't pick up my phone. Dozens of missed calls, none from Emily. One text from Ethan. "No hard feelings, bro. Things happen for a reason." I deleted it without reading the rest. Then on the 4th day, something unexpected happened. A call from Miranda Carter. "Lucas," she said, her voice cool as steel. I saw the headlines. I checked my phone. A photo had gone viral. Emily and Ethan kissing, in front of the restaurant, her rehearsal dress billowing behind her like some cursed bridal magazine shoot. The headline read, "Billionaire's brother steals fiancé at wedding rehearsal God." That word, steals. I wasn't a man who lost his bride. I was a punchline. I braced myself for Miranda to pull the plug, to say the controversy was too messy, that she couldn't risk her name being attached to mine now. But instead, she said, "This isn't a setback. This is your origin story." I didn't understand at first. Then she continued, "Build the company. Stay quiet. Make them think you disappeared. And when the time is right, we burn everything down." That was the moment something inside me shifted. This wasn't just heartbreak anymore. It was war. I disappeared. No social media. No calls. I moved out of my apartment, deactivated my accounts, and cut off everyone with my last name, to the world, and especially to them. I vanished. As if I'd quietly accepted defeat and faded into irrelevance. But in reality, I was more alive than ever. Miranda relocated me to a loft in the city, sleek, minimal, with nothing but a mattress on the floor, and 4 giant whiteboards I filled with ideas. We worked 14-hour days, built, tested, revised, ate takeout, slept 3 hours, repeat. For the first time in my life, I wasn't trying to prove anything to my family. I was building something bigger than all of them. We called it Halo Mind, an adaptive AI productivity system that could outthink calendar apps, task managers, and human assistants combined. I poured every ounce of anger, betrayal, and obsession into that code. Revenge wasn't a fire anymore. It was fuel. And Miranda, she wasn't just a business partner. She became something else entirely. Mentor, sure. Co-conspirator. Absolutely. But there was something in her eyes every time she looked at me, like she saw the war I was fighting and had fought it once herself. She never pitied me. She weaponized me. And while I built in silence, they broadcasted their lives like a fairy tale. Ethan and Emily got engaged within 3 weeks of the ruined rehearsal. He posted a black and white photo of her ring with the caption, "Right person, wrong brother." Thousands of likes, hundreds of comments. My mom even shared it, writing, "So proud of my boys." Both winners in their own way. Winner, interesting word choice, because I was winning too, just not on Instagram. We launched Halo Mind 6 months later in a private beta with 3 Fortune 100 companies. The results were staggering. Productivity skyrocketed. Workflows streamlined. Miranda called it the future of intelligent operations. I called it step 1. But I still wasn't ready. Not yet. You see, revenge is a lot like chess. You don't scream checkmate until the king has nowhere else to run. So I waited and watched. Emily wasn't climbing the ladder at Miranda's company the way she thought she would. She was still just an executive assistant, not to Miranda, but to Miranda's third in command. A glorified scheduler. No creative work, no campaigns, no power. I imagine it burned her sitting in the same building every day, not realizing the very thing she served coffee for had my fingerprints all over it. One night, I saw a post she shared. "Success is never as shiny as it looks from the outside. Protect your peace," with a black heart emoji. Cute. And Ethan? Well, he had always thrived in rooms where he was the biggest deal. But that started changing too. People whispered about Halo Mind at networking events. He even messaged Miranda on LinkedIn once asking to connect. She left him on scene. Soon she received an invite. A national business conference was being held in New York, a celebration of emerging technologies and disruptive founders. Miranda was offered the keynote. She declined and gave them my name instead. Lucas Grant, co-founder and CTO, Halo Mind. The event was 3 months away, and Emily was on the assistant scheduling team for the event. Ironic, isn't it? The woman who left me at the altar was now preparing the guest list for my biggest public debut. Poetic. But I didn't want poetic. I wanted unforgettable. So I told Miranda, don't announce me. No press, no pre-show buzz. I want to walk in that room like a ghost and leave it haunted. And she smiled. This, she said, is how legends are born. This isn't revenge. It's a reminder that I was never the one who lost. The ballroom was drenched in gold chandeliers hanging like frozen fireworks, white marble floors polished to a mirror, the kind of room Ethan thrived in. I arrived through the service entrance. No camera flashes, no fanfare. No one recognized me, not yet. I wore a plain black suit, no tie, a simple silver watch. I was the ghost they thought they buried. I scanned the room. There she was, Emily. Hair curled in soft waves, black cocktail dress, clipboard in hand, smiling at people who didn't see her. She looked tired, not in the physical way, but in the almost way. The kind of tired you carry in your chest. She didn't see me. Not at first. Then, like some invisible string pulled her gaze, she looked up and froze. She blinked once, twice. The clipboard trembled. Lucas, I didn't smile, didn't nod, just walked right past her. Let her drown in her own questions. At the front of the room, the MC tapped the mic. And now, our closing keynote speaker. He's been called the silent disruptor, the mind behind the machine. Please welcome Lucas Grant. Gasps. Chairs creaked. Somewhere near the middle, I saw Ethan sit forward, eyes narrowing. His fiancé, or whatever she was, now just stood there, mouth open, clipboard forgotten. I took the stage, cleared my throat, and smiled for the first time. Good evening. A year ago, I was supposed to give a different speech. At my wedding rehearsal, laughter rippled through the audience, but it wasn't a joke. I had it memorized. About love, commitment, building a future together. I was going to talk about how life isn't about perfection. It's about showing up for each other, even on the hard days. But I never gave that speech because she left me. You could hear a pin drop. She left me for someone I trusted more than anyone in the world. Someone who shared my blood, my childhood, my secrets. But I'm not here to talk about betrayal. I'm here to thank them. Pause. Because the moment I lost everything, I found exactly what I needed: clarity. Eyes locked on me. Ethan leaned back in his seat, jaw tight. Emily pale as paper. I disappeared after that, not because I was broken, but because I was busy building this. I gestured to the screen behind me. Halo Mind's logo lit up the stage. We built Halo Mind in silence. While they posted filtered victories, we were rewriting how corporations operate. Today, our platform runs the back end of the companies that write their paychecks. And tomorrow, it'll run everything else. Gasps again. This time, some were from executives in the room who hadn't known who was behind the tech they now depended on. I looked straight at Ethan, then Emily. I didn't come back to take revenge. I came back to succeed so loudly your silence would be permanent. Thunderous applause. I stepped off stage before they could recover. Walked right past them. No pause, no glance. But then I turned, just once, looked Emily dead in the eyes. She opened her mouth. Lucas, I raised a hand. You chose a man who never built anything over the one who was building an empire. She flinched, and I walked away. Miranda met me outside the venue holding 2 glasses of champagne. That was surgical, she said, handing me one. I nodded. They'll replay that speech in their heads for the rest of their lives. And you? I looked up at the sky, calm still. I don't need to look back anymore. I didn't attend the after party. While investors and executives toasted Halo Mind in some rooftop bar, I took a walk down 6th Avenue. The city buzzed around me alive with 1,000 stories. But mine was finally quiet. I ended the night not with noise, but with peace. Funny how revenge is loud, explosive, but healing is almost silent. It creeps in slowly like sunlight after a storm. You don't even realize it's there until you stop clenching your fists. I used to think closure came when they finally said sorry, or when they looked at me and realized what they lost. But now, I know closure isn't about them at all. It's about the moment you no longer need them to lose in order for you to win. That moment came standing on stage, staring down the 2 people who tried to write me out of my own story, and realizing I didn't feel hate anymore. I didn't feel anything. Because they no longer mattered. They weren't the villains, not anymore. They were just footnotes. Ethan could keep his family's applause. Emily could keep her clipped-together life. And I had Miranda, a company, a future I built with my own blood and teeth. I had people who chose me not for status, not for looks, not for leverage, but because they saw who I really was when I had nothing left. I moved into a new place. No more whiteboards on the wall. No more sleeping on the floor. I bought plants, cooked dinners, called my aunt, the only family member who had texted asking if I was okay, and never pushed when I didn't reply. Sometimes winning isn't loud. Sometimes it looks like waking up without a pit in your chest. Like drinking coffee without checking their socials. Like not needing the last word. Miranda once told me, "The best revenge is a life so well lived, they wouldn't dare come near it again." She was right. But there's one thing she didn't say. The most powerful kind of healing is when you're not living to prove them wrong anymore. You're just living. If you made it this far, thank you. Not everyone survives betrayal. Not everyone walks away stronger, but you can. And if you ever feel like the people closest to you shattered your world, remember this: the world rebuilds. You rebuild. And one day you'll stand so tall that the people who broke you will need to look up just to recognize you. Like stories like this. Here on Hidden Family Chronicle, we uncover the most jaw-dropping family secrets: betrayal, revenge, healing, and the quiet power of moving on. Share your thoughts below. Like if this story hit home. Subscribe to follow more unforgettable tales.